Joe Petroleum, and just a lot of entrepreneurs in this room, so you probably understand his struggle. Just if he could sell it for a little bit more than what he could buy it for, that he was doing everything he could to pay the bills, and I've got two aunts and my dad, and kind of keep them going. And my dad, and he'll talk about just kind of some of the things that Dad got roped into doing, as a teenager, just to keep the line moving. And then in '92, my dad had been building hotels, and he wanted to take a shot at seeing what St. Joe Petroleum could do, kind of for him. So in '92, he came and worked for my grandpa, and then really started to grow the business. I think there were like 4 stores in '92 and like 3 or 4 trucks. And, today there's 12 stores and 30 trucks, and just so, really expanded our footprint and everything we're doing. And then, 6 years ago, I came and, started working for Dad, and Jeff and Brett, you've been 3 or 4 years in the business? Yeah, 4. But yeah, so from kind of working directly with Conoco, and then kind of, okay, now you got to start a business, St. Joe Petroleum, and then we've really grown it. And now, so we're kind of in that looking to the future, because here sooner or later, Dad's not going to be in the business anymore, and it'll be my brothers and I. Whether we like it or not. So these are just kind of some fun pictures. So you guys might know our store. It's a Phillips 66 east of town. We call it Platte Valley. So, this is a picture of that store. Yeah. Yeah. You're not really going to be protected from the elements. Yeah. And then, we kind of upgraded it. So this is probably from late '90s, I'd say. And then this is kind of our new model. Dad has kind of worked on this image, and as you kind of go to different fast gases more and more, you'll kind of see this blue and this fast gas logo. Anyway, and so just kind of the evolution through the years. And I think I've got kind of another little sequence of pictures of the stores here later too. So target market, just for our business. So who are we trying to work with? Like I said, there's the fast gas side and the St. Joe Petroleum side. So on the fast gas side, you guys, anyone with a car who lives or passes through St. Joe, Athena, Stewartsville, Jamesport, Trenton, and Gilman City. So that's kind of our geographic footprint. So yeah, we'd love to sell you gas or have you come in and get a Godfather's pizza or fountain drink. I like the little Hostess apple pies. So if you only see one, be careful about taking it, because I might be behind you. St. Joe Petroleum, like I kind of mentioned, farmers, construction companies, manufacturing facilities, and truckers. And then we've, like I said, we've residential customers with our propane service. So if you are, maybe you guys are a target market for that as well. But yeah, we got a lot of good people on the fast gas side and the St. Joe Petroleum side, and they're driving the trucks, running the registers, and kind of keeping people in line and working with our customers to make sure we're taking care of them and moving things forward. So that's just there's a picture of the target market. So somebody was doing some earthwork, and we set a tank for them, and you've perhaps seen that truck running around town. So that's what we want to do. Go fill dyed diesel tanks on job sites. So this is the store just kind of down the road here, 38th and Mitchell. So it was just a little kiosk. I guess, did they sell cigarettes even? Cigarettes, and they took your cash for gas? Yeah. And your sister was held up at that? Yeah. So we've always been close to the business, and maybe sometimes more close than we're comfortable, uh, but yeah, she was a teenager. Yeah. So that was a dark day in the family history, but, yeah. And so, this is a kind of picture of, okay, it's no longer a kiosk. It's a full building. So this little truck, it was never used by us. But yeah, way back in the day, they'd run around with trucks like that. And, uh, our mechanic in Jamesport, he's passed, but, a few months ago he got this running so we can drive it around and uh, uh, anyway, just kind of a fun little truck. Um, and then yeah, this is kind of that store today, just kind of with that fresh look with the blue and, Conoco 15 years ago, they sold out to Phillips 66. So, that was kind of something we were nervous about because we'd been Conoco and everybody had known us as Conoco, and they said, well, you got to be Phillips 66. So thank you for not dropping us because we're not Conoco. So, uh, I think I kind of mentioned most of this. So 12 stores, 30 trucks, 220 employees, um, 5 bulk plants. So kind of where the trucks live. So we've got a facility in Atchison, Bendina, Kansas, kind of 20 minutes west of here. We got a facility in Elmo, Missouri. I say all roads lead to Elmo because you never really go through Elmo to get anywhere. You, if you're going to Elmo, you're going to Elmo. So I think just the center of the world is there in Elmo because kind of everything comes out of Elmo. Um, we've got a place here in St. Joe and then Jamesport. So, that's we were kind of talking about buying businesses during the book club, and that was a big uh, move for us. This guy he'd had kind of a business that was about half the size of ours for 60 years, and he'd done business with Dad for a long time, and he wanted out. He was 60, 61, 62, and he wanted out. And so we said, well, we want to grow, and so we took it over, and now we're in that neck of the woods, and yeah. So that's the 5th bulk plant, and then yeah, just kind of the other big thing on our mind is how do we go from second generation to third generation, and we kind of talk about that every week and argue nicely sometimes, but just how do we make this successful kind of for the third generation. Me. Um, just another picture of St. Joe Petroleum. So, if you know good people, we're always looking for character. We can qualify anybody. So there you go. And then yeah, just kind of a fun little picture. Like I said, we'd love to set one of those tanks on a job site and keep an excavator going. What's kind of going on with St. Joe Petroleum? Like I said, kind of going on to the third generation, excited for where that goes. And then just we're excited to expand. We think there's the 13th fast gas. We think that there's certainly room for that kind of in the footprint already. The 6th bulk plant. We're kind of excited to just comfortably grow and expand and kind of be your regional convenience store and your regional fuel and oil and propane supplier. So problems and challenges for St. Joe Petroleum. So I've kind of got 3 maybe more generic things. Then I've got pictures of something that unfortunately is very specific to St. Joe Petroleum. We've been flooded a lot. And just it's the nature of where we are. if you guys don't know where we are, we're on the Stockyards Expressway. There's the river and there's the railroad tracks, and then there's us. If you know kind of where the city yards or Kenworth is, kind of maybe gives you a little bit of a picture, but it's not close enough yet. But last week I went and just kind of took a look at where's the river, and just kind of whenever flood stages come, that really puts a hurt on our business, and yeah, we've been flooded anyway. So nothing, you can't just move stuff out of the way, but it's a pain. But just I think our challenges are probably very similar to a lot of people. Just we need good people. We've got 200 employees, and it's just we can't do it all ourselves, and we're very reliant on our people to take care of us and take care of our customers, and hopefully you guys can testify, on the fast gas side that's happening. We see it. And then just, at the end of the day, we sell a commodity. We try to put customer service on it and kind of elevate ourselves, but at the end of the day, it's a commodity, and if I know you guys would give us 24 cents on the gas sign, but you won't give us 25. But yeah, so it's just a competitive market, and then just market dynamics. That there's been a little bit of, maybe you've watched the news. There's been a little bit of market activity because of the war, and just prices are moving and jumping up and down, and that just stuff we have to dial in on a little bit closer maybe than normal. I don't think that slide is supposed to be there because it's already been talked about. So just one little picture. So that's my little sister, and then my two brothers and I, and just we've been in commercials and family business, and so that's us. So thank you for having us, and thank you for your support over the years. Thank you. Yeah.
So I would say you have like two different businesses, right?
Sure.
So St. Joe Petroleum, and then your convenience stores. So you really kind of have to run two different marketing programs initially. So maybe focusing on fast gas in itself and its competition. And you think of all the, I would say it's somewhat fragmented, and maybe a little bit of consolidation going on. You get some of the bigger organizations out there buying some of the similar to your business. But then my question is, kind of with all that, how do you get there first, right? You're looking at the demographics, you're trying to grow, and you're trying to find the sweet spots to be able to place your stores. What are the maybe the demographic? What's the data that you're trying to figure out how to get there first?
Get there first. Get where first?
Where you're wanting to place your other locations. Like, where's the ideal location for your next store? You know what I mean?
Well,
they have to answer that, but it's more what comes into your mind and data that you need to figure out in order to be able to stay ahead of the game, your competition.
Feel free, guys, to chime in.
Well, I know like a lot of bigger companies, they'll use like cell phone pings and stuff like that to pinpoint that intersection is a high traffic intersection. I want to buy a store there. So I know that's a lot of what the bigger companies do. Really, the way we've grown is more relationship based, like John was saying. The company we acquired was based in Jamesport, Missouri. It was a long family business that he didn't have somebody to pass it down to. He was ready to get out. He liked the idea of keeping it kind of family owned, not selling out to one of those bigger companies. So our method has been more relationship based, acquisition expansion. It is also, we're also looking at, and we get approached with plots of land, and we look at it too and see if that makes sense to put a store there. we have done in the past, like, we'll hire a company and they can look, do a traffic study on this plot.
Oh,
And then they can kind of see, give us some numbers on, well, that, put a store there, it'll do this with gallons, stuff like that.
thank you.
I think
Definitely go buy a hotel to knock it down, to build a station. That's out of our van.
borderline criminal.
How, moving from Conoco to Phillips 66, how many people anymore are, I have to have this brand of gas? Do people think like that still? My dad used to, gas is gas to me, but maybe it's not. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll say something and you guys can. I mean, I think the brands recognize that like that's not. It's more of a convenience. Like, is your store on a good corner? And okay, if every 10th load is a load of water, then okay, like they're not going to trust us, type of thing. But I would think even Phillips and BP, it's our other brand, would say it's not really differentiated from Quick Trip, but then like Phillips and BP, so then now they're really pushing their credit cards and you can get every day 20 cents off a gallon at a BP, and I think Phillips will give you like 15 cents off a gallon. So I mean, I think they're just trying to figure out different ways to like get you guys sticky to the brand because you've got their credit card and their app, and you're going to get a discount. Yeah. So.
Well, are there good and bad sides to the local competition and also some of the bigger chains coming in to the market here in St. Joe specifically? We talk about that, like how to compete. And maybe there's good and bad to that, I guess.
Competition's good. It forces you to.
I mean, I think you should talk about it. I mean, I don't know if there'd be Godfathers in St. Joe as quickly as there is if Quick Trip didn't say they were coming. I mean, I think that kind of up to you to say, hey, I want to put Godfathers in here at the store. So the kind of competition does sharpen you. And then, I mean, what we do, it's like, okay, how can we differentiate ourselves? We really try to emphasize that, this is a local business. Your dollars are staying here. But yeah.
Okay, that changed my question. If you're saying that you try to emphasize that you're local, your dollars are staying here, how do you market that? How are you getting that story out to your potential customers and your current customers?
Oh, I'd say we could always do better, but I mean, we didn't have signs in front of our stores about third generation local until Quick Trip came to town, and just just trying to emphasize, we're here, we're people you see around town type of thing. So they probably could do other things to emphasize it more.
We also sponsor a lot of local activities. We want to have our name out and let people know that we, soccer or Pivotal Point, or we want people to know that we're giving back to this community, not allied arts and places like that.
As far as the differentiation stuff goes and competition, are you guys do E85 or a high octane or anything like that?
Yeah.
We do E30 at a couple stores. We also have a few stores that sell ethanol-free premium.
Okay.
We don't really find that moves those gallons, or yeah.
That's why I have a hard time finding it.
We got it in town. Yeah.
For the people that are just like looking for a convenience store and don't really care about the gas prices or something like that, do you have anything that you feel like sets you apart or something you do really well at a convenience store?
What our mission statement or what you want to call it, we really feel like what sets us apart is focusing on that fast, clean, friendly service. If we have somebody at the like our manager and our store staff, if they're fast, clean, and friendly, taking care of customers, providing that customer service, we really feel like that's what sets us apart. We are working on rolling out pretty soon our own fast gas loyalty program to kind of do that sticky customer as well. But we try to emphasize with our staff fast, clean, friendly. That's the easiest way to, like, customers will forgive you for a bad product or a bad pizza, but if you don't treat them well.
Okay, I do have a question, but I want to say this reminded me of my days of traveling with young children. And a clean bathroom was a make or break. I knew what gas stations to stop on the way to grandma and grandpa's. And a bonus was if they had a changing station in the men's room, so my husband could take a turn with those diapers. Because the trunk is a hard place to change a diaper. But I've done it because some bathrooms are disgusting. My question was, do you guys have or do you envision like one of those electric vehicle charging stations?
Yeah, we don't. So I keep deferring to Jeff because he's kind of the gas station side and I'm the truck side. But I think like we just in Wathena we had a smaller store and we made it a bigger store and we kind of kicked it around, but we didn't feel like that was the market to put it in. I mean, so we don't have it now. Perhaps.
We haven't kicked really putting it in, but the economics of it, it's just not aligning.
We're in the business to make money.
Yeah.
And you can't make money with electric charging stations.
Yeah.
Oh, like you just can't make money with them. It's not like if you.
But the customer's stuck there for quite a while waiting on that thing to charge, so they will come in and use it.
Or so much pizza they can eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's actually a study done where that's the thought, and I think it was Starbucks that had them at their stores, and they realized that person's just coming in, charging, and they're sitting in the car. So they're just taking up a parking spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barry, you had a question?
I got a question about customer loyalty, and I was thinking about what the gentleman over there asked earlier about loyalty to gasoline brand names. I can remember when Conoco was the hottest brand going, and Shell Oil had Plant for Me, whatever the heck that.
Yeah.
But you don't see those commercials anymore. I don't think there's so much loyalty to a particular gasoline. But there is a loyalty to fast gas, to a group of businesses operating under one name, family business. And I just wondered what you've seen happen with that has the fact that you are fast gas, that's a brand, and in this area, is there, do you think, a good loyalty to that? And I know you talked a little bit about building the loyalty to that brand with maybe a loyalty card, rewards card. I think what you were mentioning about the clean restrooms and the clean service, the food in there that's so good, the fresh fair food and all of that. I think there is a brand loyalty to this operation here in St. Joseph and in this area. And I just wonder if you feel the same way about that, and if you've seen a change after that big corporate entity from outside the city came in, and then how is that working out for you? Did it affect you in a negative way, or I think you have a lot of built-in loyalty coming to the station just to say, hey, we're with you.
You want to say something, Jeff?
Yeah, so when that big corporate entity came in, our volume at our interstate I-29 credit score did drop, but talking with other peers in our industry that are in different areas, they've had the same thing where QTs come in across and they were just telling me before, it's like, oh, it's not good, it's not good. And I was telling them afterwards what our numbers came down to, and they're just like, wow, that's actually really good. That's not as big a drop as what we've seen. So I feel like, you know, being in St. Joe for almost 50 years has built up some brand loyalty. And, like you said, our goal is to make sure we're fast, clean, thermal, clean bathrooms, have good customer service.
I think it's some people too purposely because they wanted to make a statement. I know my husband went there, and that's not our normal route, just to support you against the good guy.
I would sell on, you can't get out of that store. You can't go left
No,
out.
yeah. It's travelers, you don't know when you got it.
Well, I mean, and to the point of the competition, where what I've found is that with the traffic pattern, sometimes it doesn't sound like it makes sense, but sometimes it actually makes sense to have more than one store within that, on those corners. Because of those traffic patterns. We've seen that recently down around I-29 in Parkville. The gas station. What they had to do is, because of all the development that was occurring to the west of him, he knew that was going to be ripe for competition. So he put in another store. Just observation.
Well,